Well, hello, Darryl. Thank you for coming on to do the interviews with Screen today. First question: what you were involved in working on Secret Seas, of course. What were your impressions of working on the project?
Hello, Julie. I was quite amazed at the amount of preparation and pre-production work that has to go on in the background before any filming was done. This obviously led to a smooth, slick operation when it actually did take place. Those guys, Graham, the producer, and the crew were true professionals. They even had time to listen to my safety brief on boat work.
Well, that must have impressed you.
It was nice to hear somebody actually listening for the change, other than being taught and spoken at all the time.
It does make a difference. What would you hope would be the impact of the series?
I think as an overall series, it's going to be opening the public's mind to what actually goes on in, on and under our seas. Hopefully it will promote and prompt more people to come out and get involved in caring for our waters and in a variety of ways. It's only by understanding and investigating what's actually happening there through the media of film and TV that we can start showing at least a little more care for what's quite simply what has been the lifeblood of our island nation. And I think it's fair to say that as an island nation, recently we've forgotten just how much we depend on the sea for our continued survival.
I must say, when I watched one of the shows where they were talking about scallops, for example, fluttering through the water, I felt like it was heartbreakingly beautiful. And it really, I've always loved the ocean and so on, but I just felt it had made an emotional connection beyond what I'd had before. So
seeing these things for yourself under the water is quite spectacular. And unfortunately, with the dredgers going by, they do seem to, quote, rape the seabed. It's not like a ploughed field. It takes more than 3 or 4 years for the natural regeneration to occur on the seabed, I'm afraid.
Just in the more general sense of the work that you do, how did you first get involved in powerboat work?
I've been on the water for as long as I can remember. I think as early as year 4. My father taking us out in the boats on the lochs and rivers of Perthshire, well, it was Perthshire then, and the North Sea coast, going out in various craft, some of which we made ourselves. Sadly, my father drowned in a boat accident we had on the river when he was working for the pipeline across the Tay back in the early 70s. I was 10 years old at that time, and whilst that didn't curtail my love of the water, it wasn't until I returned to the waters of Fife as a grown man in the late 90s, I'd gone to work in England but missed being so close to the sea, that I got involved with the RYA and became a powerboat instructor. And in 2005 I opened my own powerboat training centre to promote and deliver boat handling courses through the RYA powerboat scheme, to deliver safety messages basically to one and all. It was around the same time that I was finally able to take up my father's other love, that of scuba diving, and in 2006, I think it was, became the only diver coxswain assessor within BSAC who's not also a full diving instructor. This is helping to create more safe dive boat crews. This has led to greater exposure of my skills, of course, through diver training with BSAC and the lovely Sarah Connor.
Well, apart from anything, that must be a real tribute to your dad that you have gone into it, and I mean, not just at a hobby level, but at such a professional level.
Many people have said he would have been very, very proud of me, which I'm glad to hear.
I'm sure. Have you done other media production work? You've mentioned obviously working with Sarah, so I know that must have been an interesting experience.
Yes, well, I'd known Sarah for a couple of years before that. And indeed, yes, I was asked to consult and take part in an episode of Griff Rhys-Jones's Rivers TV production for his swim down the River Tay with the members of the Ancient Amphibious Bathers Association in one of their episodes. Their initial plan was to swim with the incoming tide up to Perth from the Friarton Bridge, but using my local knowledge, I had to advise them that in winter there is no incoming tide. The water continually flows out. And so we advised them to start the swim from Smeaton's Bridge above the navigable limit in Perth and swim through the river downstream. My boat carried the swimmers, Griff and the film crew, from start to finish, whilst Griff interviewed the first swimmer, Frank Chalmers, before he also got in to swim very brave chap in the November waters.
I was going to say, I think they must have really been grateful that they had consulted you and got your advice.
I think so, yes. It's not easy to swim against a 2.5 knot tide.
Again, we're back to Sarah, but you're getting involved in the Secret Sea series. Was that through Sarah's suggestion? Or?
It was, yes. When she joined the BBC after working with Blue Peter, she joined the team as a researcher for the new programme and thought of me first when it was decided to film the dolphin research at St Andrews Bay, a nice local area. After that successful venture, she called me again, this time with only 4 days' notice, to work for them again up at Cape Wrath. The boat they were going to use had mechanical problems and wasn't able to work. I was their last chance, so that shoot would have had to have been abandoned. It was the best shoot by far, in my estimation. I cut short my own diving expedition by 2 days in order to save the Cape Wrath bomb disposal shoot, which, of course, I was happy to do.
I hope you retrieved some of your holiday.
Well, it's like working. In the weather we had at the Cape Wrath bomb disposal, it was like working on holiday.
Have you got any future plans currently for production work?
Yes, just anything that comes along. Recently been working with Blast Design at Perth for the fireworks display at the Perth 800 celebrations in November last year.
The dear John Kettles?
That's right, John Kettles, you know him well. And that's fostered a new working relationship, which has led to further projects being enabled. They're keen to start using their larger seagoing vessel on some forthcoming projects on the North Sea.
Now, in terms of your greatest influence or inspirations, obviously your father was a major influence. Would you say there has been any other influence on your life?
One couldn't go far in the scuba world without mentioning Jacques Cousteau. I recall watching programs on the TV in black and white, and him trying to describe the colours of the animals and beasties down there. I believe he's singularly responsible for opening up this new world to normal people through his inventions. Of course, he invented the scuba and other films, leading us to perhaps care a little more about our own wee planet by understanding its oceans better.
And my last question, which is one of your favourite places in any of the North Sea region?
In the North Sea region, I think we can count ourselves so fortunate to live in a location that's got such diverse landscape and underwater topography to cap that. Bounded to the south by Fife Ness with its long, low, flat, rocky reefs, along the pristine sandy beaches of St Andrews and Tentsmuir Forest, and then out across the sandbars of the Tay Estuary where the dolphins fish and play, all the way up to the dramatic sea cliffs of Arbroath and Auchmiddy with their pinnacles and sea-carved rock formations jutting out to sea. And of course, you can't forget the wonderful Bell Rock Lighthouse at the Inchcape Reef, where in its unlit former life, many a seafarer's voyage came to a sudden, unexpected end, claiming many vessels and many lives as it suddenly rises out of an otherwise safe deep waters. It's just one of the most spectacular areas in Britain.
Well, Darryl, it has been a delight to speak to you today. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much, Julie.
Thank you.